Well, hello, friends, and welcome back. Yeah, today we're going to talk about quadraphonic records. What on earth? Quadraphonic records. What are they? Why do we have them? What's going on? Well, here's the story about the quadraphonic records, and it really is about half speed mastering, and the two are linked together. And how is that? Okay, well, let's go back to the first half speed mastering. In the 60s, Decca started doing half speed mastering because that's when the stereo records started coming out. And so the engineers and the record producers noticed that a lot of people were buying the stereo because the mono didn't sound as good. It didn't have the fidelity of the stereo records. So they decided, you know what we'll do? We'll half speed master these monos, and it'll pump up their fidelity. And today, if you can get some of those Decas, those monos that are half speed mastered, yeah, they're highly prized by collectors. They sound really good. I of course never heard one, but that's what I understand about that. So then we kind of go forward, and this is the very early 70s now, 73, 74, and 72, 70, in that 75. Those are the years of the quadraphonic. And I can remember, I'll just tell you a little bit of a story here. I remember that's back in the days when I was selling stereo equipment. And I went to CES in 1974, and the best room out there was the JVC, because they had the discrete 4-channel setup and all the, and they had like, it wasn't in meters anymore, the regular VU meters. They were all LEDs going up, and wow, we're just like, it's like, Christmas. All this stuff, all these lights blinking and everything. We'd never seen anything like that. Of course, it sounded great. Of course, it was very, very short-lived because in order to do it properly, 4-channel, you needed 4 channels of amplification, you needed 4 speakers, you needed a special turntable, you needed all kinds of special stuff. And it just was way too expensive to do it that way. And so it was just only for a select few. It was never going to dominate the market. They thought it might, but it never did because people could not afford to do it like that. So that's what killed that stuff. But here's the thing about these. Let's talk about quadraphonic records now. How did they make this? There's wherein lies the half speed mastering, because these records will play on a 2-channel stereo, but they've got a subcarrier on there that goes through a decoder, and that's how you get your rear channels. So the subcarrier is at 30,000 hertz. Okay, so how do you get 30,000 hertz on a record? Yeah, it's from 20 to 20. You're right. They don't have 30,000 hertz on here. You can't record 30,000 hertz on a record. The cutting head won't do it, right? So there's a way around it. This is what this half speed mastering is now. You slow all this stuff down to half speed. So now, if you record a signal on the record at 15 kilohertz, when you speed it up twice as fast, that frequency is now 30,000 kilohertz. That's how they got this on there. So now this half speed mastering, what's nice about it is when you slow the tape down to half speed, about the highest frequency, and you don't ever have to cut that high, is 10,000 kilohertz. So you're cutting at 5 kilohertz, 1,000 hertz, 5,000 hertz, those where you're cutting. And it's really easy for the cutting head to cut that stuff. It's not easy when it gets real high and you get a complex music passage and you get a lot of high frequency. That's when you get a lot of distortion. That's really hard for the cutting head to cut that in the lacquers. So when you slow all this stuff down, and again, it's going slower, it's kind of like the 45 RPM, but only kind of in the reverse, kind of the same idea. But now, you've also got to cut in half the RIAA curve, and you can't really do much EQ on the fly because this stuff is running at half speed. Now, to do a proper half speed mastering, when it's done properly, it sounds fantastic, but it's very hard to do. Stan Ricker is one of the only guys out there that really, really knows how to do this stuff well. And he's done it for years. He's always done a great job of it. There's been a few other ones, but that's kind of how they came up with this half-speed mastering, because they listened to these quadraphonic records and they said, wow, they really sound good. This half-speed mastering, it really helps the sound of the record. It makes them sound better. So they said, why don't we try that with the regular records and see what happens? And that's how we've got the half-speed mastering. That's where all that comes from. It comes from pioneer days with these quadraphonic records. Now I have this quadraphonic. I bought this here recently. I guess about a year or so ago, but I think I only listened to it once. I don't even know if I have. I was going to do a comparison between these two records because I have this one and I have the quadraphonic version. And now this is an older pressing. It's probably only just, probably, this record came out in 71, so this is probably 72 or 73 when this record came out. And so it's an early press, as you can see by the CBS Sony label on there. But the nice thing about this record is, if you remember, a lot of times these records would say on their poster included. Has anybody ever seen the poster? Yeah, they're hard to get. But guess what? They made this a gatefold and they stuck the poster in here. So I had the poster. Really nice big poster. And because it's Japanese pressing and it's special quadraphonic, you get this on the back of it too. So that's pretty cool. That is really nice. You don't see that very often. And then it has a little insert about the quadraphonic, but it's all Japanese. So, this record, this is on that CBS Master Sound audiophile series, and all of the other ones I had on this label, I've since replaced with other records because they just sounded better than this. Now, I haven't done a lot of work on getting something else because I was going to get that MoFi One Step. And that just came out here in the last year or so. And I had tried to pay attention on Mobile Fidelity or, their site. And they had always said, awaiting press, it's going to be pressed, going to be done. And I didn't pre-order it. And by the time it came out, it was sold out in the pre-order. And that's when I learned about this. That's why I told everybody, hey, you need to pre-order that Jimi Hendrix record because it's going to get sold out. And yeah, it is sold out. So if you pre-ordered it like we all did, you got a copy. So I didn't pre-order that one step of this record, and now I don't own it. So it's going to be very expensive if I do get it. And then I have this record. Now, I've listened to this one a number of times, and the way these quadraphonic records sound, it's like a different mix. Because you're not hearing the whole mix. You're only hearing part of it. So certain instruments are louder than other ones that would normally be in the normal mix. So they are entertaining and they sound good. Is it as good as the original? It's just different. I think the original sound better because it's got everything in there. But these are fun to listen to. They are. Now we've got some oddities. And this is one of my favorite records. This is Dr. Z. And this is originally a Vertigo Swirl record. And this is how it was made. With this cover like this. This is really, really nice. This is a Karma reissue. And, Karma always does their covers. That's always the best thing about Karma. They have great, great covers. And their pressings are good too. They're made in Italy. Is it as good as a Vertigo Swirl? No. Not the sound quality, but, you're not going to find this on a Vertigo Swirl. And if you do, I'm not paying $1,000 for one. You know what I mean? They're very, very rare. And it's a fantastic record. Fantastic. I love it. Especially, let me see if they have any, the songs are in the back here. 3 Parts to My Soul. And it's In a Token of Despair. Go on YouTube and listen to that song, In a Token of Despair. Yeah. That's one of those songs you turn the lights out at night and put it on the stereo. Yeah, it's really good. Now we have a record by Liquid Sound Company. And this is a very rare record in the fact that, look, it's almost like it's a homemade record. This is a picture that's glued on here. Let me see. It was starting to, yeah, it's starting to come off. Look at this thing. And the same thing on the back. The cover is glued on the back. Now, it's by Rockadelic Records. It is an import. I don't even know what. It doesn't even have anything about a country or anything. There's no information on it at all. There's no. Oh, what's this? Let's see what's got in here. There's something in here. Can't get it out. Here it is. Liquid Sound Company. Recorded in '96, Dallas, Texas. Grain Ticket, Rockadelic Records, Dallas, Texas. And so this was made in obviously the United States, U.S. press, on Rockadelic Records. Just a white label. And the sound is fantastic on this record. Really good. Because they just made so few of them. It's really, really good record. And they didn't make very many. You know, there's another Liquid Sound Company record that came out. And I bought that record as well. But it didn't sound half as good as this one, as far as fidelity goes. So I kept this. It's because it's such a good sounding record. And the music is really cool too. It's kind of the East Indian kind of deal. It's good. I like it. Now, Chilliwack, this Canadian band, this is their first record, 1970. This came out on the Parrot label. You know, Parrot is one of those Canadian labels. And it's a very, very good sounding record. This is the London label, a subsidiary of London called Parrot. And Savoy Brown was also on the Parrot label in Canada. Now, the thing about this record is I can tell I bought it at a garage sale because it's got that sticker on there. I've still got a few of these left, but most of those old garage sale records I've replaced them, you know, with better quality reissues or whatever. This one I haven't ever been able to. It's a rare record, and it's hard to get. It's hard to get another one because it hasn't been reissued. You know, so if you want to get another original press of this, that's very rare, from 1970. You know, a Canadian band. But if you go on YouTube and you look at this, it's got Sundown and Reno. I mean, this is a couple of really popular songs that were on the radio back in Canada back in the day. I really like this record. It's about my favorite Chilliwack record. It's really good. Arthur Brown. You heard of the crazy world of Arthur Brown? I am the God of Hellfire. That's the same Arthur Brown here, but this is Arthur Brown's Kingdom Come. And this is a really good record. That Crazy World of Arthur Brown. You know, I had that on a UK Black Tracks. I got a really good, nice copy of that. But it just didn't have the staying power. Now this one does. This has got a lot of really good songs on it. This is a good record right here. Let me see what the label is. Passport, Canadian press, Passport Records. Now we have, this is a band from Japan called Far Out. And they're known as the Pink Floyd of Japan. This is a reissue because, yeah, you can't get an original press of this. Very, very, very expensive. And here's kind of a picture of the band out here. It's a little insert that they put in the record. And the label, it's just a blue Far East Records. I like it. I believe it's from 1973, Japan, a band out of Japan does this stuff. Very interesting. I like it. Is it polished as Pink Floyd? Of course not. These guys are trying their best, man, and I like it. I appreciate it. I like the record. Far Out. Now what's this? Another band out of Japan, Flower Traveling Band, and this is a reissue. This is Satroni, Satrori. This is on Phoenix Records. It's a gatefold. It's a nice reissue label. They're out of the UK. Flower Traveling Band, Satori, Satori. And these guys now, especially on this record, these are like the Black Sabbath of Japan. Yeah. You should hear them singing with that Japanese accent. I mean, it's thick. And they're singing. It doesn't even have the name of it. It's kind of like the Black Sabbath stuff. They're trying to sing it. And this is a UK press. Very cool. Good stuff. Very entertaining. Very good. Flower Traveling Band. That's their first record. Now, they've made a bunch of other ones. To me, they're not as good as that one. I like that one the best. Human Instinct. Stone Guitar. Again, this is on Sunbeam Records, another UK reissue label. Sunbeam Records. And this is a UK press. This band is out of Australia, I do believe. And this guy who plays the guitar on here, Billy TK. Wow, what a virtuoso of the guitar. Unbelievable. Listen to some of that stuff. The Human Instinct. Really good. Then we have, this is interesting, this is a guy in the VC. He made a couple records. He's a musician, and he made these 2 records. And you know, the funny thing about these records, I found out, now there's an old member of the VC, his name was Dr. Deadwax. And I used to watch his channel. Now, he hasn't made videos for a number of years, but I used to watch his channel quite a bit, and him and I used to converse quite a bit. And he came out one day and he said these were his favorite records of whatever year this came out. And I'm like, wow, they've got to be great records. I went out on eBay and I bought them. And then I never did watch the rest of his video. And so after I listened to him, I said, you know what? I went back and I revisited the video and I watched it. And he said the reason they were his favorite records of the year is because what's in the Dead Wax? It says, it's on the other record. It says "Hello, Dr. Deadwax" on there. Yeah, the guy from the VC, he put in the Deadwax and a hello to a fellow member of the VC called Dr. Deadwax. So that's really cool. It's on this record here. These are the 2 records. Really, really nice records. And this is a gatefold. It really was produced really, really good. I give the guy credit. He did a great job. And this is my style of music. This is my style of music too. I really like the records. I haven't listened to them enough, and I'll admit that. I need to listen to them more. And I guess that will conclude the video for today. Thanks very much for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that little bell. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.